If you watch the previous video, you will know how to add numbers manually in Excel. However, this method is okay if we have a small worksheet. And if we have a large data, this method will become difficult and cumbersome. Of course, there is a faster and easier way to do this. So let's first select these numbers here and press the delete key in order to delete them, and select these numbers across row number 16 and delete them. And let's select cell E5. So now we will use the sum function in order to do the summation. And as indicated by its name, the sum function will add numbers together. So first we type in the equal sign, then followed by the name of the function, which is sum. And you notice we have this pop-up help, and we will ignore it for the moment. Next, we will open up the parentheses, and we use our mouse pointer to drag over these three numbers. So you can see that Excel will write B5 colon D5. That means it will give us the summation of numbers from cell B5 to cell D5, both inclusive. Now let's hit the enter key to move down to the next row and repeat the same process again. So we type in the equal sign, then the name of the function, we open up the parentheses, and we drag over these three numbers. Now let's hit Ctrl Enter to stay in the same row. We move our mouse pointer to the autofill handle, and we just double click, and Excel will automatically fill in the correct answers for us. And in order to see the formulas implemented in each cell here, we press on Ctrl tilde in order to show the formulas. And as we can see that Excel wrote the sum function for each cell, and it will do the summation from column B to column D. However, also by readjusting the cell name based on the correct row number. So here in for example cell E9, we have sum from B9 to D9, and in cell E10 we have the sum from B10 to D10. Now let's hit Ctrl tilde to get back. Of course, we can use the sum function down across a column. For example, if you want to sum the expenses for January. So let's select cell B16, we type in the equal sign, then write sum, open up the parentheses, and now we drag down across column B from cell B5 to cell B14, and we press Ctrl Enter. So we can also use the autofill handle and drag to the right to calculate the sum for each month. Since the sum function is very common and is often used in Excel, Excel made it more easier to use the sum function. So let's delete these numbers here. Make sure we select cell E5, and since here we are in the Home tab and we go to the right, you can see that we have this auto sum button. And if we click on the auto sum button, Excel will automatically write the sum function and will correctly choose the numbers for us. So it automatically wrote sum B5 colon D5. So let's hit enter and repeat the same process for cell E6. We click now on auto sum, and again Excel will write in the function for us and will choose these three numbers. Now let's repeat and hit the enter key. We move down to cell E7. Now if you notice, in cell E7 we have three numbers to the left and two numbers above. Now the auto sum function is not perfect, because if we click on the auto sum here, Excel will wrongly choose the two numbers above instead of the three numbers to the left. And don't panic, we can still correct this. Since we are still in the editing mode, we can drag over these three numbers and Excel will auto adjust the correct numbers for us. Now let's hit enter to move down one row and repeat the process. We click on auto sum, and again Excel will make the same mistake, since of course Excel can't read our minds, so we need to help Excel in order to choose the correct numbers. So now we drag over these three numbers in order to adjust the correct range for us. Let's hit Ctrl Enter. You don't have to worry about this, since you can always use the autofill. Move our pointer to the autofill handle and just double click, and Excel will autofill the correct answers for us. We can also use the AutoSum tool here down across a column. For example, we select cell B16 and click on AutoSum, and Excel will write the sum function and will choose the numbers above. And as you can see, it even chose this empty cell. However, this will not affect our result, since an empty cell has a 0 value, and we can always correct this by dragging across the correct range. So we select cells from cell B5 to cell B14. So let's hit Ctrl Enter, and let's repeat the same process for cell C16. We click on AutoSum, and again it will correctly choose the numbers above. We can fix this by excluding the empty cell here. Let's hit Ctrl Enter. Now if we select cell D16 and click on AutoSum, Excel will make the same mistake again. Instead of choosing the numbers above, it will choose the numbers to the left. So Excel can't figure out the correct numbers for us, so we need to help Excel doing this. So we can always, in editing mode, we are still in the editing mode, and we can choose the correct numbers. So let's hit Ctrl Enter. Also we can use the autofill handle here in order to make things easier. So let's delete this data, and we can select this cell and use the autofill handle and drag to the right. So now you know how to use the AutoSum. You should be careful about using this tool in order to give you the correct answers.